conspiracies.
Which conspiracy?
First, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you think you have anything inside of your body that could be considered looking like a tree? And I'm not talking about wood. I'm not going dirty for once.
Our nervous system and our circulatory system is very similar to us.
Or the bronchial tubes in your lungs.
Yeah.
The concept has been recurring in my brain the past couple of days about how many reoccurring patterns there are in nature, in the universe, from the atoms all the way out to the solar system.
Golden ratio. I mean,
so
the universe is beautiful that way.
Yes. So it brings a concept into mind. Is the universe itself fractal in nature?
No. And I'll tell you why.
All right.
Entropy. The universe tends towards disorder. But like these cobwebs in this room, they will form fractal type patterns. Just dust collecting over time will form fractal like patterns.
Right.
That's not necessarily disorder. It's just a way that order somehow finds a way. And I think that is interesting. And the way that the human circulatory system looks similar to the veins in a leaf, or something like that. Same thing with the nervous system. Same thing with your bronchial tubes and your lungs. Things naturally grow this way, and that's like, for example, bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry is common in so many vertebrates.
Right.
And it's because bilateral symmetry allows us to move efficiently within our environment based upon pressures and so forth. Depending upon the pressure, you will evolve differently.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my point. What about your garden? I went off on a rant, my bad.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure what bilateral symmetry has to do with the reoccurring patterns at different spatial dimensions.
Well, there's a golden ratio, the way things like the way a shell is made, seashell is made.
Yeah, there's a specific type of fractal that's called. I can't remember what it is. Is it a Dermont fractal?
I got a book when I was like in high school about fractals, and it's too much math. So I hate math. And so I just trying to understand why these patterns exist is because the way I think the universe is made. It's made to have that 1 to 3 kind of ratio.
From the smallest scale size all the way out to the largest?
Yeah.
Definition of a fractal.
That's what I mean.
So it is fractal in nature.
I suppose so. I think aspects of reality are fractal in nature. However, the universe it tends towards chaos. And fractals and chaos are often talked about similarly.
Yes.
When it comes to chaos theory and how chaos could be fractal in nature on its own. I don't know. I read this book and there was so much math in it, and this is just what I gleaned from it. And it oh God, I wanted to be a scientist. First thing I wanted to be was an astronaut, and then I realized, all right, college, all right, probably a master's, if not a doctorate, or join the military. Spend 20 years in the Air Force or the Navy. That doesn't sound fun at all, in retrospect. Then hope to get into an astronaut program after all of that.
Right.
So I said, screw being an astronaut. It's like, what do I want to be instead? I want to be a scientist. No, math. Okay, any science that isn't... Okay, pseudoscience looks good. I guess I can get involved in pseudoscience. I'm just making shit up.
The soft science.
Yeah. I guess
it just sounds so demasculating. It's the soft science.
Well, it's just because I sucked at math, and I was just like, if I get into a science, it needs to be a science that has no math, and so that's pseudoscience.
Don't worry, Pseudoscience. They make pills for that.
Yeah, I got involved in psychometry and tarot cards and stuff like that. Didn't really like it.
Numerology.
Ugh, it's the worst, numerology. And so then I realized, I guess science isn't my bag. So that's when I got a job at a radio station.
Which is...
Now I get to make shit up all the time.
When you stop and think about it for a second, that is like the one choice somebody who is introverted and doesn't like other people. It just seems like the one where you wouldn't go. I don't like talking to people. I don't like being around other people. Yeah, let's go talk on a radio station.
But that's the paradox of me, is that
you like to talk. You just don't want to have to deal with anybody around you.
boom.
Shut up and just let me speak. I don't care what your opinion is.
Well, I mean, I guess I was shut up for so long in my life, particularly those Navy years. I wasn't allowed to speak my mind. And I got in a lot of trouble in the Navy for when I did, for websites I had, talking about things that pissed me off, because it has to come out of me some way or another. And that's either me writing it or speaking it. And the madman that Eric first met was the guy who had to vent all of his anger all the time because it had to come out. And that's just what it's like when you're a creator. And over time, I've learned to refine, harness this, I guess, impulse in me to I have something to say, you better listen to me. And I try to harness it in a more positive way.
Sit down and shut up, bitches. It's time for me to talk.
And I know if you watch your news feed, I know there's plenty of stuff out there that piss you off.
I don't watch the news for that particular reason.
I know. I look for information. I try to look past the partisan bickering. Take the news I want, walk away, and treat people like I meet them on the street every day.
90% of the stuff that pops up for...
You got to make America great hat. Make America great again. I don't give a shit.
Right?
We're still going to treat you. You know, you're wearing a Puerto Rico shirt. I'm not going to give you a hard time. Puerto Rico's part of the U.S. My sponsor posted a video earlier, and it kind of pissed me off.
All right. I didn't know people had problems with Puerto Rico.
Ignorant people do.
They make good rum.
Yeah. I got real sick off some Puerto Rican rum. That's another story. Because I was like 16.
Well, to finish the garden, when you puked off it, did you see fractals?
No. I got hit in the head with a shovel once, and I saw a pattern that I can only describe as a fractal for like a split second. Some people said it could have been a concussion, but...
It very well could have been a concussion. You could have
jumped
to a higher
That's when I
state of
started yelling
consciousness.
it. That was a trip I went with a youth group, and they said, you got real angry after that.
You got real angry after you... No shit, I got hit by a shovel. Of course I'm going to get angry. No, or was that in response to you got angry, then you got hit with the shovel, which, depending on what you're doing, you might have deserved it.
It was afterwards. They said, you guys seemed way angrier ever since. So,
Also, that was just what triggered you for the rest of your life.